20 things that are totally normal in the UK, but nowhere else. Every country has its own personality, but Britain wears its quirks like a badge of honour. Some habits make perfect sense to locals, yet leave visitors quietly puzzled, while others are so ingrained that Brits barely notice them. From the sacred art of queuing to the national love affair with tea, these small details shape the rhythm of daily life. In this countdown, we explore 20 things that are normal in the UK, but almost nowhere else. Ranked from 20 to 1, they reveal the delightful oddities of British culture. 20. Understating everything. One of the most charming British culture quirks is understatement, a subtle way of speaking that downplays even the most dramatic events. A torrential downpour might be described as a bit damp, and a career-defining achievement might only get a not bad. This is not because Brits lack enthusiasm, but because centuries of cultural preference for stoicism, politeness, and humility have shaped their speech. Understatement is also used for humour. The contrast between reality and the mild description can be hilarious, whether in everyday chat or classic British comedy. For example, a cricket match interrupted by a sudden hailstorm might prompt someone to comment, "Well, that's less than ideal." To outsiders, this habit can be confusing. Is something good or bad? But spend time in Britain, and you'll see it's a social lubricant. It avoids making a fuss, keeps interactions smooth, and reflects a national fondness for understatement as a polite shield. It's one of those unique things about Britain that you start copying without realising it. 19. Coins of all shapes and sizes. A quick look at UK coins reveals a treasury of variety. The 50p is a rounded heptagon, the £1 coin has 12 sides, and the 5p is tiny compared to other currencies. This unusual design isn't just decorative, it's practical. The Royal Mint makes coins in different sizes, shapes, and edges so they can be recognised by touch, an important feature for the visually impaired. This tactile design sets British currency apart and often surprises visitors used to coins that increase in size with value. In the UK, the order is less straightforward. The £2 coin is larger than the £1, but the 5p is smaller than the 10p. Locals use coins daily for car parks, vending machines, and market stalls, so they instinctively know each by feel. Tourists, however, might find themselves holding up a queue while inspecting change. This quirk is a small but memorable part of British customs explained, and once you get the hang of it, it's surprisingly satisfying to use. 18th. Window cleaners who just turn up. In many UK towns and suburbs, there's an unspoken routine, the monthly visit from the window cleaner. Without appointments or reminders, they arrive with ladders or extendable poles, clean the windows, and leave, often while you're out. Payment might be left in an envelope, handed over in cash, or now sent via bank transfer. This tradition is rooted in trust and long-standing relationships, especially in smaller towns and villages. Families often keep the same window cleaner for decades, and the familiar knock or clink of a ladder is as reliable as the post arriving. While it's not universal in every part of the UK, big cities often work on scheduled bookings. It's still common enough to feel like one of those quirky UK traditions that visitors find endearing. It's informal, friendly, and a reminder that not everything in Britain runs on apps and booking systems. 17. Marmite, the love it or hate it spread. Marmite is a thick, dark yeast extract spread that inspires instant loyalty or instant dislike. Its strong, salty flavour divides opinion so much that the brand itself uses the slogan, "Love it or hate it." This has been part of its marketing since 1996 and has entered everyday speech. Invented in the late 19th century, Marmite is packed with B vitamins and has been used both as a savoury spread and a cooking ingredient. Brits often enjoy it thinly spread on buttered toast, while some add it to gravies or stews for extra depth. For many in the UK, Marmite is comfort food tied to childhood memories. For visitors, It's often one of those UK traditions foreigners find strange. A food that demands an opinion. Eating it by the spoonful is a rookie mistake. The secret is a light touch. Whether you end up loving or hating it, Marmite is one of Britain's most distinctive flavours. 16th, school uniforms for nearly everyone. In the UK, school uniforms aren't reserved for elite private schools. They're standard in most state schools too. Children from primary to secondary level wear clothing in school colours, often with a blazer, tie and school crest. The Department for Education supports uniforms as a way to promote equality and reduce fashion-related peer pressure. They also foster a sense of belonging and school identity. While styles vary, some schools opt for polo shirts, others for formal blazers. The principle remains the same. Visitors from countries where casual clothing is the norm are often struck by the sight of school children in full formal dress walking home together. This is one of those funny British habits that locals barely notice, but that symbolises a structured, tradition-minded approach to education. It's practical, it's recognisable, and for many Brits, it's just the way school has always been. 15. Double-decker buses as everyday transport. Around the world, double-decker buses are tourist attractions. In the UK, they're part of the daily commute. While London's bright red route masters are the most famous, these buses are used across Britain in cities, towns and even rural areas. Double-deckers are practical. They carry more passengers without taking up extra road space. For locals, the top deck is the best seat for the journey. For visitors, it's a sightseeing experience. From the top front row, you get panoramic views of city streets, countryside lanes, or coastal roads. This is one of the unique things about Britain that blends functionality with charm. Whether you're heading to work in Manchester, visiting family in Edinburgh, or riding along Brighton seafront, climbing to the top deck is an everyday pleasure that never quite loses its novelty. 14th paper, crowns at Christmas dinner. Every Christmas dinner in Britain comes with more than just turkey and roast potatoes. It also features paper crowns. These come from Christmas crackers, which are festive cardboard tubes that pop when pulled apart, revealing a paper hat, a small gift, and a joke. The tradition began in the mid-1800s and has become one of those funny British habits that nobody questions. Even the most serious guests wear their crown during the meal, if only for a while. For visitors, it can be surprising to see an entire dining table of people, from toddlers to grandparents, wearing flimsy tissue paper hats. For Brits, it's as much a part of the holiday as mince pies, Christmas pudding, and the King's Speech. It's playful, light-hearted, and wonderfully British. 13. Watching the King's or Queen's speech on Christmas Day. At 3 p.m. on Christmas Day, millions of Britons tune in for the monarch's annual message. First broadcast via radio in 1932 by King George V and televised since 1957, the speech reflects on the past year's challenges and achievements. Some families watch it closely, others keep it on in the background while dessert is served. Although viewing numbers have declined in recent years, it remains a significant UK tradition foreigners find strange because of its ceremonial tone and timing. For many, it's simply part of the Christmas rhythm, along with gift-giving and post-lunch naps. For visitors, it's a glimpse into the way Britain blends tradition, history, and modern media in a single 10-minute broadcast. 12th, the round of drinks system. In British pub culture, buying a drink for yourself is only part of the story. The unspoken rule is the round system. Each person in a group takes turns buying drinks for everyone. It's an informal but powerful piece of British etiquette. Failing to buy your round without a good reason is noticed. The system encourages fairness, camaraderie, and shared responsibility. It also acts as a subtle social cue. Being in the round signals that you're part of the group. For newcomers, this can be a surprise, and an expensive one in a large group. but it's one of the quirky UK traditions that helps keep pub culture warm and welcoming. 11th, zebra crossings. Zebra crossings are pedestrian crossings with distinctive black and white stripes, often accompanied by flashing amber Belisha beacons. Drivers are legally required to stop when someone is on the crossing. The most famous is in London outside Abbey Road Studios, immortalised by the Beatles' album cover. While zebra crossings exist elsewhere, their design and cultural prominence make them one of the unique things about Britain. To visitors, the level of driver compliance can be surprising. In some countries, pedestrian crossings are more of a suggestion than a rule. In Britain, they're a clear signal of right-of-way, blending practicality with a touch of iconic design. 10. Hot and cold taps, completely separate. One of the most puzzling British culture quirks for visitors is the presence of two separate taps in sinks, one for hot water and one for cold. This design, still found in many older homes and public buildings, comes from a time when hot and cold water had to be kept separate for safety reasons. Historically, cold water came directly from the mains and was safe to drink, while hot water was stored in a tank that wasn't always fresh. By keeping them separate, there was no risk of contamination. Although plumbing systems have modernised, many sinks in Britain still retain this traditional setup. For those used to a single mixer tap, the choice between freezing and scalding water can be baffling. Locals are used to it. Some even perfect the skill of quickly switching between taps to get the right temperature in the basin. It's one of those strange things about Britain that survives partly out of tradition, partly because replacing bathroom fittings in older homes can be costly. And while mixer taps are now standard in new builds, the double tap sink remains a charming, if slightly impractical, reminder of Britain's plumbing past. 9. Milk in tea. Ask for tea in the UK and you'll almost always be offered milk. This British custom explained dates back to the 17th century, when tea was expensive and served in delicate porcelain cups from China. Adding milk first cooled the boiling water slightly, reducing the risk of the cups cracking. Today, milk in tea is more about taste. It softens the bitterness, adds a creamy texture, and has become a signature of UK traditions foreigners find strange. For many Brits, tea without milk feels incomplete. It's like serving scones without jam. There's even debate about whether milk should go in first or last. Milk first advocates claim it gives a smoother flavour, while tea first drinkers insist it's the only proper way. Whichever side you're on, the addition of milk is almost universal in British households. Visitors from countries where tea is typically served black often come around to the idea after trying it. And once you've had a perfect builder's brew, strong, with just the right splash of milk, it's easy to see why it's one of the unique things about Britain that sticks with you. 8. Sunday roasts as a weekly tradition. The Sunday roast is one of the most enduring quirky UK traditions. A weekly feast of roast meat, crispy potatoes, vegetables, gravy, and Yorkshire puddings. Traditionally served after church, it has been part of British life for centuries, dating back to medieval times when large joints of meat were cooked on open hearths. Today, it's still a staple in many homes and pubs. Families gather around the table, often inviting friends, and it's as much about togetherness as it is about the food. The roast varies: beef with Yorkshire pudding, chicken with stuffing, pork with crackling, or lamb with mint sauce. But the principle stays the same: hearty portions, shared in good company. Even in a fast-paced modern world, the Sunday roast survives as one of those things that are normal in the UK, but unusual elsewhere. In other countries, Sunday might be for quick meals or eating out, but here it's still a day for slow cooking and comfort food. Visitors who experience it for the first time often find themselves longing for it afterwards. There's something deeply satisfying about ending the week with roast potatoes, gravy, and the laughter of family around the table. 7. Pub culture as the neighbourhood hub. In Britain, the pub is far more than just a place to drink. It's a community centre, dining room, entertainment venue, and meeting hall all rolled into one. Known as the local, a good pub is a fixture in the lives of many communities, especially in rural areas and small towns. Historically, pubs, short for public houses, have hosted everything from town meetings to wedding receptions. Today, they still serve as the heart of social life. You might visit for a quiet pint, join a pub quiz, attend a charity fundraiser, or listen to live music. For visitors, this aspect of British culture quirks can be surprising, especially if they're used to bars that are strictly for nightlife. Many pubs serve hearty meals, welcome families during the day, and even allow dogs. The warmth of pub culture lies in its familiarity. The same faces behind the bar, the regulars at the corner table, and the sense that you belong. It's one of those unique things about Britain that blends hospitality, tradition, and local identity into one timeless institution. 6. 2 taps with reversed labels. As if separate taps weren't unusual enough, Britain has another plumbing quirk: taps with hot and cold labels swapped around. This isn't an intentional design choice. It's usually the result of renovations or repairs in older buildings where swapping the pipes was easier than relabeling the taps. It's not universal, but it's common enough that many Brits have encountered it. Visitors expecting cold water from the sea tap might get a scalding surprise, and vice versa. While this might sound like a minor inconvenience, it's part of the charm of Britain's older housing stock, where small oddities add character. It's one of those funny British habits in home maintenance that makes you pay attention every time you turn on the tap. 5. Tea as the universal cure. In Britain, tea isn't just a drink. It's a remedy for almost anything. Feeling stressed? Have a cuppa. Something to celebrate? Put the kettle on. Bad news? Let's get you some tea. This instinctive response is one of the most recognisable British culture quirks. It's less about the drink itself and more about the act of making and sharing it. Offering tea is a gesture of care, a way to pause and regroup. The UK drinks around 100 million cups of tea daily, and the ritual is woven into the fabric of life. For visitors, it might seem over the top, but it quickly becomes clear that tea is a social tool as much as a refreshment. In offices, building sites, hospitals and homes, the tea break is sacred. It's a comfort, a reset button, and, some might say, the glue that holds the nation together. 4. Queuing like a national sport. Britain's queuing etiquette is legendary. People form neat, orderly lines for buses, shop tills, ticket counters, you name it. Cutting the queue is considered one of the biggest breaches of British etiquette. This habit took root during World War II, when rationing meant queues were a daily reality. Over time, it became a symbol of fairness and politeness. Today, queues form almost instinctively, without any instruction. Visitors often marvel at the discipline. In some countries, waiting your turn is more of a loose suggestion. In Britain, it's practically sacred. Joining the end of the line without complaint is one of those things that are normal in the UK and a quick way to blend in with the locals. 3. Saying sorry for everything. In Britain, sorry is a social Swiss Army knife. You say it when you bump into someone, when they bump into you, when you need to get past, or when you disagree. Sometimes, Brits even apologise to inanimate objects. This habit isn't about guilt, it's about politeness and smoothing interactions. It signals empathy, acknowledges another person's space and avoids confrontation. Research has shown that Brits apologise more than many other nationalities, making it one of those funny British habits that's hard to shake. Visitors may be baffled at first, but often find themselves adopting the habit after a while. And once you start, it's surprisingly hard to stop. 2. Talking about the weather. Constantly. The UK's weather is famously changeable. Sunshine in the morning, Rain by lunch, frost by evening, this unpredictability makes it the perfect conversation starter. Talking about the weather is a national pastime, a safe and neutral topic that works in almost any situation. It's not just small talk, it's a way to connect, to fill silences, and to share mild grumbles or delight. Among UK traditions foreigners find strange, this one stands out for its persistence. For visitors, it might seem repetitive, but after a few weeks in Britain, you'll find yourself doing it too. The weather isn't just a topic here, it's part of the daily rhythm of life. 1. Electric kettles in almost every home. Topping the list of unique things about Britain is the electric kettle. Around 97% of UK households own one, making it the ultimate symbol of the nation's love for hot drinks. The popularity is partly cultural, tea drinking is deeply ingrained, and partly practical. Electric kettles boil water much faster than stovetop versions, and their efficiency makes them indispensable. Visitors from countries where electric kettles are rare, like the US, are often amazed at the speed and convenience. For Brits, the kettle is as essential as the fridge. It's the first thing switched on in the morning and the last thing used at night. From tea obsessions to the sacred art of queuing, these 20 habits reveal the unique character of British life. They may puzzle outsiders, but they're second nature to those who live here. Which of these British culture quirks would you happily adopt? And which would you find hardest to get used to? Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.